Hello and welcome back to the another episode of the Hindu News Analysis. Well, it is 2nd July 2025, and in this video we are going to discuss some important articles which are very much relevant for your preparation. But before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. Basically from 2nd June, we had started the initiative by the name Target IAS 2026. Under this initiative, every day we upload 2 videos on our YouTube channel. One in the morning session where we discuss the current affairs, which is this video. Here we discuss the most important articles which are relevant for your preparation, whether it would be related to prelims or mains. We discuss these articles. We try to derive the possible prelims or mains questions from these articles so that it will give the proper knowledge what is required for you to clear the exam. Then after this video, in the evening session, we upload another video where we discuss the static syllabus. We already started with Indian polity and we had conducted 19 classes of Indian polity. Today we are going to conduct the 20th class, and after 10 days we are going to complete the Indian polity syllabus. So what we had promised you here, that by the month of Jan 2026 we are going to cover your full syllabus, whether it would be related to prelims or mains. We will cover every subject what is required for you to clear the exam except optionals. So if you think this initiative might help you in clearing the exam, it is totally free, and we can say it is the free coaching which we are delivering here. So if you want to be the part of it, please do subscribe the channel, do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative, and please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you. This initiative is for you guys. Please do subscribe. Now without any delay, let's start with the first article which we had brought today here from the Hindu newspaper. As you can see here, the article by the title, it says triangular dynamics in South Asia's power politics. Basically this article it revolves around USA, Pak, India and China. It revolves around these countries. If we will see what happened post Operation Sindoor, the diplomatic at the diplomatic front, India is at the receiving end, if we'll be honest with ourselves, because how Pakistan is being perceived by USA because of the favors they are doing with the Trump family. It has pushed their stand more than ours. So this is something to be discussed about. We are discussing this from last 1 month now. Now again, let's discuss it. First, to understand all this stuff, first let's go into the history. Let's see when there was breakdown of the British India, when the two independent states were formed. Let's discuss what happened after that. It was during that time the World War ended and world got divided into two blocks. USA led bloc and the USSR led bloc. So for USA, it was if we look at the geostrategic position of India and Pakistan, it was very much important for both the blocs, for both the countries, whether it would be USA or USSR. So they tried to show their presence in this region. So if we look at the Pakistan's geostrategic position, it is more, it is very much important with respect to countering for them to counter China, to counter Afghanistan, and to counter the Central Asia, to reach the Central Asia, to connect with the Central Asia. So it was USA's most priority to get connected with Pakistan, to do them the favors, to make it as a vassal state of USA. So what they did, Pakistan's independent policy, it was not as ours was. They did not believe in non-alignment movement. So they directly, once they got the independence, they directly sided with USA. And USA started favoring them by the transfer of funds, by the transfer of technology, and it was very, they achieved this honeymoon. They had this honeymoon period during that time till the 1980s, 90s. They had the great relationship till early 2000s itself. Till 2001, their relationship was at epitome. The Pakistan had achieved its diplomatic epitome in this region. In this time when they in a way mediated between they in a way try to mediate between USA and China. They in a way try to connect USA with the China. So it was their epitome time, and it was a time when India at the another front, we were working. We were working at what? We were trying to dehyphenize India and Pakistan. This region was viewed as India and Pakistan, so we tried to dehyphenize. We tried to be viewed as the global leaders. We tried to be viewed as the leader of the South Asia. We tried to be viewed as the leader of the South countries. So we were working on it. So at the same time, we were trying to counter the Pakistani-led terrorism. We were trying to counter the Pakistan-led militancy. So we were fighting at many fronts. But until 2001, the approach of the West was very much different. They had very much biased approach towards Pakistan. Whenever we will claim of the militancy acts from the Pakistan, they would they will not listen it keenly. They would say that it is much the security issue. It is much the Kashmir issue in this region. Because of that, this is happening there. But post 2001, when there was attack in in USA, 9/11 attacks, this approach started to change. Now the leaders, now they started to change. Now the terrorism was taken very seriously, and also the position of Pakistan as it connected. It was a wide link for USA to enter into the Afghanistan. So Pakistan enjoyed economically very at the very highest front. Pakistan had an economic advantage with respect to that, but at the same time they were losing their sovereignty. Their air bases were captured, used by USA. So this went on for some period, but at the same time, Pakistan supported them in this war with Afghanistan. But at the same time, if we will see the US government, they started to realize that the Pakistan, they are playing the double game. At the same time, they are saying that we are anti militancy, we are anti terrorism, but at the same time they are supporting these mujahideens through various indoor channels. They are supporting the Haqqani groups, they are supporting all that stuff there. So the USA started to sanction them. USA started to get firm against them. They started to to point out these issues. Now the situation between USA and Pakistan started to little bit widening, and it was a time when the US imposed some sanctions on them post Obama. When the Obama came in, he started to impose sanctions. He realized this issue. Then we saw in the first term of the Trump how Trump responded to Pakistan. There were they stopped the fundings to Pakistan, and Pakistan was under very much scrutiny from the USA. But at the same time, Pakistan's approach shifted towards the China. They fell into the lap of China. China started to build the Belt and Road Initiative, the CPEC corridor in Pakistan, and the wealth in Balochistan. So China became the much front runner of it. So they developed a much greater relationship with Pakistan, and eventually for USA, China's presence in this region is not good. What is the if we will try to analyze why is USA trying? Why is USA getting so much involved with those countries who are so far from them? The major focus is to counter China. So seeing this China getting much closer to Pakistan is not anyway good for USA and Pakistan. There is a nostalgic relationship between USA and Pakistan. So USA is always trying to get close to Pakistan. They always try to say that at the end Pakistan is our ally. We had been the allies. So they would often ignore the mistakes done by Pakistan. So what they are doing right now, we are seeing after post Operation Sindoor how Donald Trump, they started to praise Pakistan. They started to invite the General Asif Munir, who is the field marshal, to the White House. It is something ridiculous because the Trump, he is the elected person, and if we look at the government in Pakistan, it is much martial law there, and Pakistan has been in martial law since they became an independent state, if we will be much precise in it. So it was least expected, and he invited him for the lunch, and also he praised him. So this relationship, it is growing there. The relationship between India and Pakistan, between Pakistan and USA, they are it is getting to the epitome again. They are again rebuilding this relationship, and there are various reasons for that, which this article has highlighted. And what is the issue with India here? We don't like it. Because we are the independent state, we believe in our sovereignty, we respect our sovereignty more than the economic interests. So we in Pakistan, being recognized by the international countries like such is not good for us, because our approach is that the way India is approaching the world, that we are the regional stabilizer. We are the regional power. We are the major power of the South Asia. We are the global leader. We are perceiving to be the global leader. We are already the leader of South. We are already perceived as leader of South. So for India, Pakistan getting stabilized is not good for us. So here, Pakistan getting much closer to US is not good for us. Pakistan getting much closer to China is not good for us. So what should be the approach of India? Let's discuss that. First, let us discuss why Pakistan is gaining this momentum right now. Why Pakistan is diplomatically getting recognized by USA right now. Why it is getting recognized by West right now. Let's try to find out. What are the reasons for that? First of all, the issue of Afghanistan. We discussed that, as I told you, post 2001, how Pakistan was ready for how Pakistan readily gave their air bases to USA to counter Afghanistan. So right now there are many properties of USA in Afghanistan, and for USA, Afghanistan is like a lost territory, and they want to regain those things. So Pakistan is the major link between Afghanistan and USA. So in this way, Pakistan is important for them. Similarly, right now the conflict of Iran, which is going on, as Trump recently said, when there was a meeting between Asim Munir and Trump. Trump said that the Pakistan knows Iran much better than the world knows. So definitely Iran, through the Balochistan, how USA can enter into Iran, how Pakistan can serve as an air base for them. So this is one of the reasons why they are giving this importance to Iran. And also China's influence, USA would never want that Pakistan should fall fully in the lap of China, because it is eventually it is the loss of USA. So this is also one of the reasons they are again trying to cope this issue. And also, if we look at the business interests of the Trump family in the Balochistan, because it is rich in the critical minerals. So, and also the crypto trade, which the Trump family is involved in the Pakistan. So these are the reasons why this relationship is growing with respect to with respect to Pakistan. And also how the Pakistan world views how the Pakistan views it. Pakistan is right now, it has been under the economic crisis since long now. For them, it is one of the biggest opportunity for them to let them in, so they can sell anything for the money. So this is one of the reason they are approaching it. And also the geostrategic location which they have, the only thing on which they are saying to the world that the geostrategic location which they are enjoying, this is also one of the reason. And also bridge between China and USA, as we already discussed, opportunity for them to gain the relevance. If we go back Operation Sindoor few months, Pakistan was not even relevant with any situation in the world. So right now it is all the position Pakistan is enjoying right now is because of the Trump statements with them, Trump statements. So it is an opportunity for the Pakistan to enjoy, to gain this global recognition. And also, they are pandering to Trump's ego. They are nominating him for the Nobel Prize, and they are trying to recreate the old normal, which the relationship they had with them. So in what India's stance is that we believe in new normal. If any terrorist attack is on our territory, we will take it as a act of war, and we will retaliate proportionately. And also we had reduced role in Indo-Pacific. Again we are against the hyphenization, which they are as the West is trying to rehyphenate this region. So what can be the way forward for us? The way forward could be the diplomatic outreach. We have to be proactive diplomatically. Recently we send our ambassadors to the countries so that they can tell them what the story is, what the actual story is, who are not aware of the situation in the South Asia. And also we can put pressure on the financial action task force, such groups, so that they can securitize the Pakistan, the terrorism led by that area, from that area. And also we should focus on our neighborhood countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, and and such other countries who are very much critically important for us. And also we should believe in improving our defense infrastructure. So this can be the way forward for us. So with this, I hope this much information is enough for you to understand the article. This is what was in the news. This is what there is power politics in the region right now, how China, how Pakistan is, how US is siding with Pakistan to serve its various interests, and we discussed them in detail here. So with this, I hope you had understood this article. A mains type of question can be expected from this article. A direct question: the Pakistan's relevance in the region, and how India can approach post. What is this? How with respect to the Operation Sindoor, a question about it can be asked: whether it will critically examine the impact of Operation Sindoor on our diplomatic ties. A question like that can be asked. So this is how the information from this article you can use in multiple questions which could be related to each other. So with this, let's move to the another article and see what type of article we had brought here. Well, there are groundwater crises in the Karnataka's hard rock terrain. So let's try to analyze this article. There are few facts which we have to establish to understand the article. It is very simple article, nothing rocket science in it, just simple geography. If we look at the northern, let me change the pen here. If we look at the northern plains, or the northern plains of our country, if we look at what is the what kind of soil we have in the northern plains, what kind of rocks we have in the northern plains, we will find out that it is the sedimentary rocks. It is the sedimentary rocks. It is basically the sedimentary rocks, and they are usually soft rocks. They are usually soft rocks. And in the in the peninsular India, what kind of rocks are there? They are more hard rocks. For example, it would be like granite and basaltic rocks. Granite and basaltic rocks. So you can ask me a question, sir, how is it connected with the article? Now let me tell you. For example, to have the groundwater, if there is this sedimentary rocks and there would be rain, this groundwater would be equally distributed in the region. It is very much shallow. It would be equally distributed in the region, and there is easy the easy recharge of the groundwater, easy recharge of the groundwater. So because of that, there is least pressure on the groundwater resources. But in the peninsular India, what happens that when it is filled with the hard granular basaltic soil, the recharge, when there would be rainfall, there would be the recharging of the groundwater gets difficult, because there are difficult terrains to pour into in. And also the water is not that shallow, it is much deeper. They have to dig much deeper to get the access of that water. And also when there is unscientific digging, there would be many deep holes are left alone, because they dig unscientifically, and they are left there. And when this water when there is rain, this water gets collected in those holes only, and it in no way helps the recharging of the water. So this is the terrain of this region. Because of this, there is this there are these groundwater crises because of the terrain, because of the unscientific digging. We are not able to get the access of the water. They are not able to get the access of the water, and when it is the time to recharge it by the rainfall, it does not impact it. It does not reach to the actual level. And also and also one of the reason for that is the excess excess use of groundwater, excessive use of groundwater for the agricultural purposes, for the irrigation purposes, depending upon the electricity, they draw the ground water and they use for it irrigation purposes. But when it comes to the recharging, there is an issue because of the terrain in this region. So this is why there is high pressure, the groundwater crisis deepness in Karnataka's hard rock terrain. So with respect to this, let's try to solve a question and let's try to find out what could be the possible, let's try to understand this through this question. Let's try to find out what kind of prelims question can be asked from this article. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the groundwater crisis in peninsular India. First, the crystalline hard rock geology of peninsular India limits the storage and replenishment capacity of aquifers, making them more vulnerable to overexploitation. 100% true. That is exactly what we understood. Subsidized electricity for agricultural pumping in many states has significantly contributed to the excessive withdrawal of groundwater. That is also correct. Third, the primary driver of groundwater depletion in the region in industrial water abstraction followed by domestic consumption. This is totally incorrect. It is primary driver is the agricultural irrigation. So this third statement is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. So with this, I hope you had understood what is the issue. It is more related to geography, the rock style, the rocks which form the soil there. It is because of that the groundwater depletion is not is a crisis there, because there is no enough recharge of the water, and the unscientific way of extracting the groundwater. This is also one of the issue. Now with this, let's move to the another article and have a look at it. Let's see what it is about. Well, this article is talking about the reserved faculty posts are still vacant and out of reach. Let's try to discuss this article. What is the issue with the reserved faculty posts are still vacant and out of reach? In most of the central universities, these posts are not filled that well. Why? Because a reason. What can be the reason for that? Because these central universities, they enjoy the greater autonomy. They enjoy the greater autonomy, and there is when they have this greater autonomy, so there are least checks on them. In this regard, when the posts which are reserved for SCs, STs, OBCs, and economically weaker sections, there is least checks on them, and they in a way deprive them of the jobs, even though there are jobs for them, but they deprive them. So this is one of the reason, the reason why they lack, why these posts are still vacant. One is the central university, they have huge autonomy in this regard. Second, they had recently they had changed the roster system. Earlier, how it used to be, for example, in a university there are 200 posts, so earlier they have to give those 200 posts. Now it has been changed. These posts are divided into the departments. For example, for the central, for the computer science department, these posts will be given 10 posts for the computer science department, 10 posts for the automobile engineering, 10 posts for the civil engineering. In this way they are distributed, and in these distributed posts there would be the reservation of 2 seats in the computer science, 2 seats in the automobile, 2 seats in some other branch. So these 2 seats would remain vacant, and once the questions would be asked, they will say just 2 seats are vacant. Even if it would have been earlier case, then how many seats would have been vacant? It would have been aggregate of all. It would have been the 60 seats are vacant, like that. So they had in a way neutralized it by giving the change in the roster system. It has neutralized this issue. It has the impact is much lower now. So this is also one of the reasons there are much much change in, there are much or we can say vacancy in the reserved faculty posts. And then there is also a systematic bias, as per the article, as the article highlights the systematic bias is there. Then also the systematic bias, for example, who are the recruiters? They are from the higher higher classes of the society. If the recruiter is from the higher classes of the society, so they tend to be biased towards the lower classes. They tend to be, their approach is different when there is, when there is recruitment. They favor those from their own classes. So this is also the systematic bias is there, and also political affiliation. This is also one of the issue. Political affiliation, this is also one of the issue which the article has highlighted. And also the guidelines are not strictly followed. The guidelines which are given by the central governments, by the central government, they are not strictly followed. So these are the reasons why these reservations are there. This article, it basically highlights why these reserved faculty posts are still vacant. What is the reason for that? And these are the reasons which they had highlighted. And what can be the way forward of this? The implementation, the guidelines should be strictly implemented, and also there should be regular audits, and there should be the public recording with respect to that. And also there should be the revisit to the roster system. The roster system should be changed, and also they should enable diversity in selection committee. The selection committee who are selecting these members for this post, there should be diversity in it. This can be the way forward for this issue. So this is what exactly the article here talks about. Now with this, let's move to the another article and have a look at it. Here the article is talking about using tech to empower women and children. In this article, it has actually highlighted how technology has been the reason in the recent past in empowering the women and children. For example, how technology has been used at in various schemes. For example, and it has mentioned few schemes here. For example, in Saksham, Anganwadi, and Portion Tracker. How because of this scheme, it has improved the health of the woman as well as the children. How the children are nourished, and how the pregnant women are helped. And also it further talks about the another scheme, which is Shebox portal. How technology has been helpful in this, in which it provides single window access to every woman to lodge complaint under sexual harassment of women at workplace. How it has been useful, and how it has safeguarded the woman interests. And also it further talks about how the technology has been beneficial in the direct benefit transfers under various schemes. For example, Pradhan Mantri Matra Vandana Yojana, how it has been helpful under this scheme, that 5,000 rupees are paid to the woman, and in case second child is the girl, then 6,000 would be paid. So technology has played a major role in empowering the woman, and these were the schemes which were highlighted in this article. So in this way, let's basically this article, it talks about the impact of technology, how the technology is useful in empowering the woman and the children. So this is what the article is basically talking about, and these were the various schemes which were mentioned in the article. Now with this, let's have a look at the what type of question can be asked from this article. Basically different types of questions can be asked. A mains question, how the modern technology is impacting has impacted the woman empowerment. A direct question about it can be asked, and also a prelims related questions with respect to these schemes which were mentioned. These schemes which were mentioned in this article, trust me, they are very much important for your prelims preparation as well as for your mains preparation. So let's have a look at it, what kind of prelims question can be asked. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding Shebox sexual harassment electronic box portal. So let's see what it is about. It says it is an online complaint management system launched by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology to address cyberbullying against women. No, it is not from the Ministry of Electronics. It is totally incorrect. It is from the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So first statement, it is totally incorrect. Second statement, the portal is designed to facilitate the effective implementation of the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, 100% correct. Third, any woman, irrespective of her work status, organized or unorganized, public or private sector, can file a complaint through this portal. That's also true. The she box portal directly conducts inquiries into sexual harassment complaints and provides a final verdict. Totally incorrect. It just is a portal and it connects with the public authorities. So fourth statement is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3 only. With this, I hope you had understood the article, what was the crux of the article and what kind of question can be asked from that article. Now let's move to the another article and see what question we had brought, what article we had brought here. Well, the article is basically talking about the GST revenue growth dips to 4-year low. This is very serious article. If the GST revenue growth dips, what does it mean? The GST collection is low as compared to the earlier year. What does it mean? The indirect tax collection is low. What does it mean as compared to that? The indirect tax is paid by whom? It is paid by everyone. So it definitely means the consumption has decreased. If the consumption has decreased, then it has wider impact on the economy. It will have wider impact on the manufacturing. It will have impact on the manufacturing. It will have impact on various other aspects. For example, it talks about the employment status of the people in the country. They may be unemployed, they may losing the money, they don't have the money. And it may talk about the consumption status. The consumption is very low in the country. The consumption has reduced in the country. Their unemployment has increased. The manufacturing sector is not manufacturing at that rate. So definitely there are various issues with respect to this article. It is expected that in the coming months it may again regain its position, but right now the situation is much different. So this is what the article here basically talks about. This is how this article is important, important for your for your understanding. Now with this, let's move to the another article and see what kind of article we had brought there. The article is basically talking about cabinet announces incentive schemes to generate more jobs. These incentives are mostly the employees linked incentive scheme. It is basically talking about the employee linked incentive scheme. This would be done into two phases. First one in the where the employees would be employed for the first timers, they would be given 15,000 as the salary, and the second, it would be the employers they would be paid incentive of 3,000 or more. So basically it is the cabinet has announced incentive scheme to generate more jobs, and it is believed that 3.5 crore jobs in 2 years would be created under this. 3.5 crore jobs would be created under this, and among this 3.5 crore, 1.92 would be for the freshers. So with this, what is the funding they had given? Approximately 1 lakh crore, approximately 1 lakh crore rupees had been given for this scheme. So with respect to this, let us see what kind of question can be asked in the exam. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the newly approved employment linked incentive scheme. The statement 1, the scheme aims to incentivize the creation of new employment opportunities primarily in the informal sector. No, in every sector, and focus would be on the manufacturing. Primary focus is on the manufacturing. So first statement is incorrect. Second statement, it comprises two parts. One offers incentive to first time employees, and the other offers incentive to employers for generating additional employment. That is exactly true. Fourth, the benefit under the scheme are applicable to jobs created between August 1, 2025 and July 31st, 2027. That's also true. And the fourth statement, it says the scheme is implemented by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. No, it is totally incorrect, because it is implemented by the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So this fourth statement is also incorrect. With this, the correct options to this question are option statement second and statement third, and from the code given below, the correct code would be 2 and 3. So with this, I hope you had understood the article as well as the question here. Now let's move to the last article of today's discussion. Basically this article is talking about, here are two articles which are important. One is INS Tamal, lost of foreign built navy ship commissioned. It has been commissioned. It was India and Russia who jointly built it in Russia. So we had imported it. It has been commissioned. It is INS Tamal, which would be the last of foreign built navy ships or foreign built frigate ships which we had brought. And the another article, it is basically about the, this article is basically about Navy inducts second indigenous stealth in record time, and it is about what Project 17A. This is about the Project 17A. Project 17A. It is the, it is the improvement over the Project 17, which is Shivali class frigate. Under this, it is INS Udyagiri. Under some Project 17A, INS Udyagiri has been developed by the Indian Navy. It is the extension of the Project 17, which is INS Shivali class frigate. And here we had, it was built in the record time in just 70 months. It was built in a record time. So these are few important articles with respect to with respect to the defense and Indian Navy. So with this we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. And please do join us later for the second part of our discussion, where we will discuss the static part, as we are discussing Indian polity right now. Thank you for staying with me.